So the other day while I was scrolling through Crunchyroll, looking for some new stuff to watch, I stumbled across this, My Life as Inukai-san's Dog. So a little bit intrigued by this, I decided to give it a watch, and I'm glad I did. This anime is a compelling story about a seemingly emotionless high school girl who really couldn't care less about the people around her until one fateful day when she encounters an abandoned dog in the rain and decides to keep it. Her encounter with the dog changes her from a cold, emotionless person to a happy-go-lucky high school girl. We then follow these two in a very wholesome slice of life type anime as they go about their daily lives as Inukai takes care of her dog, and we see their blossoming relationship. Why does it say 18 plus and have the romance tag? So it seems this anime is slightly less wholesome than I initially thought. This girl has some kind of weird obsession with her dog. I'm about to touch on some spoilers, by the way, so if you for some reason want to watch this anime, then I recommend you click off this video and maybe go seek some help too. Episode 1. We start off with a point of view of the MC out in the rain when a girl suddenly shows up to take him home and clean him up. He's somewhat confused as to why the girl is picking him up and taking him to the bathroom with her to shower when he finds out he's actually a dog. He seems to have been a normal guy at some point because he's shocked when he looks in the mirror and finds out he's a dog. While they are bathing though, she for some reason puts him on her crotch and moans as he moves his tail. Kinda weird, but I guess she was caught off guard by the tail even though she did put him there herself. But moving on to episode 2.
Actually no moving on to episode 2 just yet. Something I forgot to mention is that she then sits in the hot tub with Pochita, turns into a high-powered motorboat and then starts to suck and lick his nose while moaning. Also her name is Karen.
Okay, episode 2 for real this time.
In this episode, they go out for a walk and both fall due to an incoming baseball. And while on the ground, the dog's nose is caught up in her panties, even though the dog was behind her. Thankfully, she immediately removes him from down there though, and notices her poor pooch hit his nose during the fall, and tries to do her best to give her dog first aid. Well, it's good to see that this girl isn't as weird as I first thought. That first impression of her was not the best, and I'm glad that she doesn't try anything silly on that dog. Oh man. Luckily though, these hero kids show up and stop her from doing anything else to the poor dog, and the episode ends with a study session between Inukai and a girl named Nekotani, who he plans to charm so that he can try to get her to take him home so that he can escape and go to his house and try to find the answers as to what happened to him and how he got inside a dog's body. And that's the end of episode 2. I hope episode 3 has some character development as well as more details about what happened to the MC and not a bunch of bestiality type moments. But episode 3. By the way, these episodes are only 12 minutes a pop, which is why the recap is so short. Alright, episode 3 starts off with Pochita, that's the dog's name by the way, Pochita, taking advantage of Inukai leaving the room for a bit so that he can try to charm her friend in hopes of escaping this lunatic and going with her. This fails on step 1 however because Nekotani is actually afraid of dogs. And for a second there I thought this might have been a different kind of fluid. Thankfully I was wrong though. Anyways, as Nekotani tries to run away from Pochita, a centipede sticks to her back and before she can notice she trips and busts her knees up. She's also knocked out for some reason, but no time to think about that because the centipede is working his way down her shirt. So Pochita, being the hero and gentleman that he is, goes in there as well, and this is where we get our next little bit of nudity since episode 1. Unfortunately, I can't show it to you, but there is an uncensored version of this anime, so check that out if you want to. Pochita is able to get the centipede off her just as she wakes up and out of fear flings Pochita across the damn room, or as the cheeky little translator likes to put it, yeeted him. Yeeted him. I think I should talk about the translation of this anime, because this isn't the first line that caught me off guard, but it's by far the strangest line in the show. So this anime was translated by one of these fucking dumb cunt translators who get off on purposely mistranslating things so that they can get attention from people on the internet, because
here I wrongly assumed that Katrina was a trans person by scanning a couple pictures of her online. But after hearing her voice, I guess I was wrong. I really didn't mean to be rude in assuming she was trans, when in reality, she's just another LA white cunt, who probably doesn't have a good relationship with her father.
I know I seem a bit upset about this, you know, it's just some fetish anime about a girl wanting to fuck her dog, but they do this shit in every anime. It's kind of annoying at this point. That's why I never pay for a Crunchyroll subscription or a Netflix subscription or whatever other dog shit streaming service. You will never see me fund these motherfuckers' HRT treatment. I hope this video doesn't get taken down. But continuing with the recap, after the dog is yeeted, he starts to lick her feet, yum, as well as her injury on her knee. I'm starting to think this guy's a little bit weird too, but Inukai sees this and gets jealous, so she decides to stub her toe on purpose to coerce her dog into licking it. He caves in and does it with the excuse of that if he doesn't do it, she might hurt herself again. How heroic. I'm sure at some point down the line, we'll see her convince him to lick something else with the help of some peanut butter. But moving on. Inukai then asks Nekotani what else went down while she was gone, and finds out Pochita went down her shirt. Inukai then, in a jealous fit, runs after Pochita while having her skirt up and saying, "Come home," while her friend watches in horror, with the realization that her friend is probably a furry. But again, Pochita caves in to Inukai's request and goes under her skirt, this time with the excuse that, if he doesn't do it, she might stay in that embarrassing position all day. Again, how heroic of him. The episode then ends with Nekotani escaping Inukai's house as quickly as possible. And good thing she did, because as soon as she left, Inukai showed up to her room dressed as and acting like a dog with a tail butt plug. Anyways, episode 4 and 5 are out as of the time of this recording, and I don't really feel like recapping them anymore, even though I watched both episodes. I don't know why I even watched them. But that's my business. Don't ever ask why I watched the entire series. But if you want to find out what happens next in this riveting story, you go watch the rest of the series. I mean, unless other people want me to recap it. But anyways, hey guys, I guess that's it.